back, everyone. So over the years, we have all had so much fun getting to learn more about ourselves through our Ancestry DNA results and the stories of our family history and what makes us who we are. And now Cameron has decided to join in on the fun. This is so much fun,
yes,
really
I am so excited. I've sent in my own Ancestry DNA test. And I got to tell you, like I say, I'm just kind of, you saw me off camera leading into this. I feel a little nervous, a little excited, a lot excited to find out what the results are. And today we are joined by senior family historian for Ancestry, Michelle Ercanbrack, and she is going to help me learn everything that I'm looking to find out. The story of my ancestors, really, isn't it?
That's right. Welcome, Michelle. We love it when you're here. You always have, she's a plethora of information. I'm telling you, you will be so surprised.
Okay.
Everything she can tell you. So, you know, getting to know more about our Ancestry DNA is really a great way for us to connect with our family and friends and find out more about our history and our culture over the holidays. How does Ancestry DNA help us do that?
Well, Ancestry DNA is a great way for anyone that wants to find out more about their family to start. It's a simple mail-in DNA kit. We mail you a little box, and you send in a small saliva sample, and we compare your DNA with 350 regions across the globe, which is really exciting. We also can compare your DNA to our network of 10 million other people that have taken the test. And it's a really just fun and easy way to just get a little taste of where your family and where your past has come from.
And when you say there's 10 million people, there may be relatives out there that you didn't even know existed.
I promise you they're all. Like that's, I mean, it's an interesting feeling. We were saying we're not used to being kind of nervous or anxious. I'm not sure what the feelings are, but it's well,
because this is tried and true. You can't deny your DNA. It's right there.
I'm like, no, Michelle, you got that all wrong.
There's no gray area here. It's pretty black and white. So how much do you know about your family's history and where they come from?
You know, really just the broad strokes, I got to be honest. Obviously, I know I'm born in Canada. I was born in Canada, and so were my parents, but my grandparents are English and Welsh, and honestly, just sort of like skimming the surface. But I really have had the desire to find out so much more than that, you know, but really that's all I do know.
All right, Michelle, so how much of a light can you shed on what Cameron knows?
Let's take a look at your results. You know, for some people, their DNA is a surprise.
Okay.
And for some people, it just validates what they already know. So Cameron, this confirms what you already know. And honestly, this is fairly indicative of when you have recent immigrants in your family, like grandparents, you would expect to see larger chunks of your DNA being from the regions that they're from. So 55% England, Wales, and Northwestern Europe.
Okay.
And then 41% Ireland, Scotland.
Oh my goodness,
so,
I love it.
Yeah, this is, now the Ireland, Scotland, you're familiar that the Inksons are from Scotland, right?
Yes.
So that helps explain that. And then when you have ancestors from Wales, you can see there's a lot of overlap between England, Wales, and Ireland, Scotland.
Right.
Okay, oh, I see that. Those are the different sort of circles you have.
Right, and when you look at the map here, usually when we think of England, we think of just the current day geopolitical map. But ethnicity is so much larger than any one country because people move around. They moved around then just like they did today.
Right.
And so an ethnic influence can be a lot broader than just where we currently know where those countries are from, which is cool.
Now, what I found to be quite exotic, because I know you were hoping for some exotic blood in there. Swedish. Did you know you were Swedish?
No, I didn't. I got 4% Swedish. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
It kind of makes sense. Cameron started his career as a model. There are plenty of Swedish models.
I don't know how you're
only following your DNA.
I like the connection that you're making there. I mean, listen, I'll take it.
Cool.
I mean, it's super, super cool. I definitely, I mean, you know, I wasn't sure what was going to come out. I did not anticipate Swedish at all, but 4%.
Yeah.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I know it may not sound like a lot, but that is actually quite substantial.
Right.
It really is. Now, here's where Michelle gets a little deeper, and this is where it becomes really fun because you get to learn about your relatives. What did you learn about Cameron's family history, Michelle?
Well, we know that you had talked about your grandfather earlier this year.
Yes, yes. My grandfather, Arthur Inkson, he's served in the wars, and we talked about him on Veterans Day. Yes, exactly.
Right, and it's the 100th anniversary of World War I this year. And so there's been a lot of celebrations in the UK commemorating World War I this year because it's when that conflict finally ended. And so we did some digging. As you know, Arthur's family, his father was actually from Aberdeenshire, Scotland. Did you know the specific region in Scotland?
I definitely didn't know.
Okay.
Maybe my mom and dad knew. Maybe they told me, but I don't remember that.
Yeah, so Aberdeenshire, Scotland is where Arthur's father was from.
Wow.
So he was a Scotsman, he was a stonemason, and he migrated 250 miles south to Gateshead, England, and married a girl there, and they started a family. And when Arthur was 7, they decided to move. And they immigrated from Gateshead, England, to Saskatchewan, Canada.
Yes.
And they were homesteaders there.
Yes, and I have original stonemason drawings from him framed and sealed in my house. I have those drawings. So that the fact that you're confirming that he's a stonemason. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, that's incredible. Well, and that's the thing that's awesome about Ancestry. I think for some people, they have rich family histories that they've heard, they've inherited documents, and they think, well, I kind of know it all. But there's more to discover. There are additional documents.
The homesteading part is so fascinating to me because homesteading has become such a big thing now. Remember I said to you, if your grandfather was alive today, they'd be doing a TV show about him.
That's incredible.
So the government, explain what you said to me. So the government gave him the land.
Right. So homesteading is when you apply for a grant from the government to obtain public lands through farming and improving the land.
Yes.
So it's kind of like Little House on the Prairie. They probably lived in a sod house. And you
They
can
did.
think,
I've got pictures of it. I should have brought those pictures. I've got pictures of the sod house. It's up in my house right now.
Well, and you have to think, as a 7-year-old kid, that's a big move. To move from England, which is probably a little more developed, industrialized, to Saskatchewan, which is probably very rural.
Yeah, I mean, it's known for its farmland. It's got vast, vast, vast acres of farmland, yes.
So fast forward to 1918. He's a 20-year-old civilian farmer with no military experience.
Yes.
And he volunteers in the summer of 1918. So 100 years ago, your grandfather, as a young man, volunteered for military service, and he actually was following in the footsteps of his older brother. His older brother, a month before, had also enlisted, and so these are young men who took up the call, who left Saskatchewan and made that transatlantic journey again back to England to serve. And so we have a military record that gives us a little bit more detail.
Whoa, really cool. Do you really?
Yeah.
So cool.
So it says Arthur Inkston, he enlisted in Regina in June of 1918. It says he was born in Gateshead. His mother was Margaret, and that he arrived in England on August 15th, 1918, aboard the SS Pannonia.
Oh my goodness! You even have the name
of
we have a picture
of the ship.
Yeah, which we have a picture of that's really beautiful.
Really?
He was a sapper, and so a sapper is someone that built and repaired bridges and roads. And so when we think about military service, we think about combat, but there's so much more to serving.
This is in World War I. He was a sapper. Isn't that interesting that I went on to graduate from civil engineering and a major in structural engiering, which majors in roads and building bridges.
And your grandfather was
designing. I didn't even know that. You see, it's in the DNA.
It's in the DNA, and you modeled.
Which takes us back to
4% Swedish. And look at the boat.
Oh my goodness, that's the boat.
Yeah.
That he
Can you
came
imagine?
to North America on.
Well, this is the boat that he left North America.
Oh, I'm sorry, to go, I see. To go serve, excuse me.
So he made that trip twice, which would be quite a bit 100 years ago.
And can I tell you, Cameron, you were just scratching the surface. You were going to monopolize Michelle as soon as we're done with this. As soon as I'm done with her.
Michelle, you're not going anywhere, Michelle. Thank you.
This is just the beginning.
Before we go, I just have to say a massive thank you. I know a lot of you here have already done this, but this has just absolutely exceeded my expectations. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much.
Of course.
We love it when you're here, Michelle. Thank you so much for being here. And if you all would like to get in on the fun, because as you can see, it is a lot of fun, all you have to do is go to Ancestry.com to give the gift of discovery this holiday season. You won't be sorry. And if you visit today, you can even take advantage of their Cyber Monday sale.